Okay, in this video, we're going to answer that all important question. What do I eat? Get this all the time, and it's fine. That's what we're here for. That's what you've paid us for. That's what you bought this program for. We're going to help you with that particular part of it. So, when we hit the reduction phase of this program, this is the phase that's going to last until you get to your ideal weight. So, for most of the people that we have that do this program in the office, what we do is we start them off, drinking their 64 ounces of water a day. We have them start by skipping breakfast. So you're actually intermittent fasting, which is very, very easy to do. And then you have your portion controlled meals. So here in the overview of the program, it says during breakfast we're gonna have no food. You're okay to have some coffee and tea, but at lunch and dinner, there's some very important things here. Number one, you want to consume a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar before you eat. And this can actually lower your blood sugar by as much as 40% when you do this. So you can either put it as a salad dressing and eat a salad. You can dilute it down with water, or my preference is to just shoot it like a shot, just throw it back. Just 1 tablespoon. Yeah, it doesn't taste very good, but you just throw it back, okay? And that way you just get over it. So So the food basically goes like this. For lunch and dinner, you're eating basically the same thing. And if you eat in the following order, vegetables first, then protein, then fruit, you're going to lower your blood sugar response anymore. But we're going to go through this approved list on page 16 here. We're going to go through that. But it's basically 4 to 6 ounces of pre-cooked lean meats, 4 ounces of fresh fruit, 4 ounces of fresh vegetables. So let's talk about that. We're going to scroll all the way down here to page 16 of that manual. Those pages might change a little bit as this thing evolves. So your protein sources, okay? Lean meats, beef, bison, wild game, chicken, game hens, turkey, whole meat, fish, eggs, etc. We want to stay away from the processed stuff. Lunch meats, there's a couple brands that are better than others, like Applegate and Hormel Naturals, have less chemicals in them. Chomps, that's a brand of meat sticks you can buy at Costco. Teton Farm, same thing. And then Sabatino, again, Costco. They make those. They have those there that are basically simple ingredients. And then a list of food, a little list of seafood. Someone texted me the other day and asked about seafood, and I said, you can literally eat any seafood. We encourage you to do that. So please enjoy seafood. Wild game is encouraged. That's especially important here in Idaho. And then your fresh vegetables is any fresh veggie, except for, of course, potatoes, corn, peas, or carrots. And we've given you a list here of some ideas. Plus, I've just come up with a new list that I'm about to share with you. And then fruits, any fruit except for bananas, pineapples, mangoes, and grapes. And again, I've got a list here that I'm about to share. And then sodas, so drinks. We've done a whole other video on drinks. You can check that out there. But coffee, tea, and water is basically your go-tos. We want to avoid the fake stuff as much as we can. So in the beginning, what I always tell people is to keep it as simple as possible. So you take your favorite protein. For example, when I'm done with this video, I'm running to Costco and I'm going to buy a slab of tri-tip and I'm going to throw it on the grill tonight. And that's going to be our meat for the next couple of days. And I'm literally just going to put some salt on it and cook it on the grill. I'm not a master at this by any means. I'm more than happy to make a video for you. But it's just super simple. Salt, and you can season these any way you want. My preference is salt. So I'm going to cook the tri-tip, and then we'll cut it up. We'll have a meal of tri-tip and a fruit and veggie tonight. And then we will use that in different recipes later this week. Super simple. You can do that literally with any protein. Grill it, bake it, broil it, smoke it. We don't care. That's how you start with your protein. Just keep it super simple, minimal seasonings. But as you get bored, things will start to improve for you. On vegetables, our favorite thing to do is we'll roast those with some whatever vegetable with some olive oil and some sea salt. And I've had a preference lately for beets. It's weird, but yeah, whatever. Just a little sea salt, just a little olive oil, and those bake up nicely at 475. So, and then fruits, I will tell you that I think organic blueberries are probably one of the healthiest foods on the planet. We eat those liberally. And then here's another list of foods. But what I've done here is, and I'll share this with you, I've actually come up with a list of 50 vegetables. Like you can literally take any one of these vegetables, roast it with some sea salt, eat it raw, don't care. But 4 ounces of these vegetables is going to help you a lot. And then there's also a list of 50 foods here, or 50 fruits. You can eat any one of these fruits, just to give you some ideas. So you do want to make sure you measure these in the beginning, just to make sure we're getting proper portions. Until you get your calibrated eyeballs. And once you have your calibrated eyeballs, knock yourselves out. So let me just show you an example. So when you get bored of just eating grilled foods and roasted vegetables, that's when you reach out to your coach and say, hey, what have you got? Our Circle app, if you're not part of that, let me know. But this is our Circle app, and we have a whole section of recipes here on the Circle app. So just things that you can fire up and cook and actually have some pretty decent meals here. So there's ideas here. There's also what I really wanted to do for you today. I'm doing this just raw, like I have not done this. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to come here to Google, and basically Whole30, anything that's Whole30 is going to be actually approved on this particular program with some changes. So what I'm going to do is let's just go Whole30 pot roast. Okay, and I'm just going to Google that right up. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm just going to click this first one. Now, to be honest, I know the defined dish. I've used the recipes before, so I think we're pretty safe here, but let's check it out. So the defined dish, this is their best Whole30 pot roast. So let's look at the recipe. I love these bloggers, but jump to recipe. There we go. Okay, so 3.5 pounds boneless chuck roast. Falls under protein, perfectly fine. Kosher salt, cool. Black pepper, awesome. Arrowroot flour, totally fine here. This is a thickener, and you can follow her tapioca, but do not use regular flour. So there's the first modification. Don't use regular flour when you make this. Excuse me. And then 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Awesome. 1 large onion. Cool. Now here's our second thing. Large carrots. We don't want to use those. We're on reduction phase, so we can go to our list and say, okay, what can we put in here instead of carrots? And it happens to be that parsnips are on the list. So parsnips are an excellent substitution. So you can put parsnips in here instead of carrots. Follow the instructions the same. 4 stalks of celery, 2 cloves of garlic, Dijon mustard, tomato paste, paprika, apple cider vinegar, thyme, 2 bay leaves, cup of beef broth. Now, 1.5 pounds of medium-sized yellow potatoes. So there's 3 things in this particular recipe that we need to change to make this fit. So we would just omit those potatoes. You can use sweet potatoes in there if you want. If you use sweet potatoes, just keep in mind they take longer to cook, so I might pre-cook them a little bit before you just throw them in. So there you go. Sweet potatoes instead of yellow potatoes. We're going to use parsnips instead of carrots, and make sure you do not use regular flour. Boom. This recipe fits into what we're trying to accomplish. So you can literally do that for any food. Let's try one more here. Let's go Whole30 Parmesan chicken Parmesan. Chicken Parmesan. There we go. Okay, whole kitchen sink. I've used these guys before. Let's check it out. Okay, so we're going to jump to the recipe here with whole kitchen sink. Maybe. Okay, I'll scroll down. Here it is. Okay. 4 thinly sliced chicken breasts. Check. 1/2 cup almond flour. Okay, this is good. I'm glad we did this one. Almond flour. I know I've told you to not use nuts and seeds, but if you're going to use 1/2 cup of almond flour for 4 chicken breasts in a recipe, I actually think this one's okay. So go ahead and use the almond flour for this particular one. Nutritional yeast, fine. Coconut flour, again, it's just 1/4 cup. Not worried about it. Italian seasoning, garlic powder, teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, 2 eggs, 3 tablespoons of avocado, 1 cup marinara or more if desired. The only thing that I would do with this particular recipe is make dang sure that the marinara you're using does not have sugar. I don't know brands off the top of my head, and I love how they're putting a Hershey's ad right here in the middle of this awesome recipe. But again, it's just another example of something that you could use, and just modify just a little, and it's only with the marinara, and boom, you have yourself a meal that you can use. So that's the principles that we're really trying to teach you with this program. Is let's start just kind of looking at some of the recipes that we've used in the past. If you have a favorite food, put Whole30 in front of it, search that favorite food. If you need any help, please just reach out to us. Like, you could literally take a link, send us a link and say, what about this? And heck, I'll make you a video. So there you go. That's how we do this as far as like meal planning for our family. It's how it's done. It's how we do it for the program. So I hope that video makes sense to you. So keep up the awesome momentum, and we'll see you on the next video.